Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to Agog House. This is home to our global community of creators, technologists, storytellers, and change makers using XR to imagine and build a better future. At Agog, we focus on using immersive media for social good. And we host these monthly events to bring our community together to spark insight, connection, curiosity, and collaboration across the XR for Impact ecosystem. This space is also meant to be shared. So if any of you are interested in hosting your own event in Agog House, please DM me or my colleague Raul. I don't know where Raul is, but DM one of us and we'd be happy to help you out. For those of you who don't know me, I am Vanessa, Agog's community manager. You usually see me dressed as Mushy the Mushroom, but I have graduated into a mycelium creature that you see before you today. I am really lucky to work alongside an incredibly talented team to bring these events to life. Let's definitely give a big shout out to the entire Agog team and also to our indispensable crew, Manglebird, the bunny. Couldn't do anything without Manglebird, Lori from Beam Immersive, and of course, a big kudos to the world builders who built this incredible space, Nico and Shushu. Today is also a really special day for me personally because it actually marks my 1-year anniversary since starting to work at Agog, little dance, which is really wild because didn't I just start last week? I just wanted to say that I've been so warmly welcomed into this incredible community and a big thank you to all of you. Before we bring out our guests, we have some announcements. We'll share links to those in our Discord, across socials, and on the YouTube stream chat. So the MIT Co-Creation Studio and Agog are really excited to announce another year of Worlding, a week-long virtual research and development workshop to advance thought and practice at the intersection of storytelling, climate change planning, XR, visualization, and land use decision-making. The call is currently open, and it will be through March 16th. So please check it out. There are also some info sessions coming up next week. Agog is proud to renew our partnership with Phi for a second XR for Impact residency. That open call will be announced next week, so also please stay tuned for that announcement. The first year of the program is currently underway in Montreal, which is where I'm from, with multidisciplinary artist Mira Musenk, and we're really excited to see what comes out of her time there. Next, I want to call out Fragile Home. This heartbreakingly beautiful mixed reality work from Brains Immersive is now available in the MetaQuest store, and we cannot recommend it enough. Please go check this out. Agog is also really proud to have supported this project through our grant-making efforts. And LA people, please join us at the next Innovation Social at the Music Center on March 20th. The program is going to be an incredible showcase of LA-based XR talent, and we're really excited to experience it with those of you who can attend in community. Our next Agog House event is on March 24th, so save the date. We'll be switching things up, actually, and hosting a community world hop. So it's going to be a different format from what we normally do. Be sure to sign up, and we'll also be looking for ideas and suggestions for worlds for our future programming. And before we get to that, South by Southwest, which brings us to our current program today. Many of our team, myself included, will be in Austin, and we'd really love to connect with those of you who'll be there. Please be sure also to reserve your spots for 2 Agog panels that Agog staff are participating in. We have on March 14th, you can join. Where's Amy? You can join Amy Seidenworm, who's moderating a panel with Nani de la Pena, Karen Palmer, and Tim Disney. The title of the panel is It's Not Too Late, Art and Technology Can Unfuck the Future. So how could you not go to that? And then on March 16th, Agog's very own Jasmine Askew will be moderating a panel with Lauren Hammonds, Gabo Aurora, and Aziz Isham. The People's Lab, AI Storytelling, and the Future from Queens. So both really incredible talks. Alrighty, we're on to the main show. If everyone, don't be shy, come and sit, take a seat up front, and be sure your microphones are muted during the talk, and then you'll come off for the Q&A. Today, as you know, we'll be hearing from one of the XR industry's top tastemakers, Blake Kammerdiener, senior of film, TV, and XR programming at South by Southwest, in conversation with Agog's own celebrity icon, head of production and acclaimed producer and director Mary Matheson. Woo! So let's, I'm just going to wait. There's one other bit. We're going to actually, after the Q&A with Mary and Blake, we're going to segue into a really special interactive tour led by Sarah Walzen and Rasheen Vahandej from MIT Open Doc Lab's AR and Public Space Artist Collective. They're going to give us a sneak peek of Layers of Place Austin, which is a site-based AR exhibition transforming Austin's public spaces, revealing hidden histories and the futures through location-based works created with local artists and community partners. We're really excited about this project, and Agog is also proud to have supported Layers of Place MIT and this Austin adaptation, and we welcome you all to learn more about each contributing artist and project. For those of you tuning in on YouTube, hello. Thank you so much for joining, and please stay with us when we transition to the tour. We'll continue live streaming so you can follow along. So without further ado, let's please give a very warm welcome to Blake Kammerdiener and Mary Matheson. Come on out.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, thank you very much. How's it going?
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, how exciting.
Yeah. All right. I'm Blake Kammerdiener. I am the senior manager for film and TV and XR programming at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. And we are very excited to have our 10th official edition of the XR Experience this year at South by Southwest. So very excited to talk about it. Now, at South by Southwest 2026, many of you may have, if you have been there, you would know that we did, like the core was kind of at the convention center. Well, this year they tore down the convention center. So we took the opportunity to kind of revamp and, change the look and feel accordingly for South by Southwest. So I want to go over a couple of new things. The XR Experience is part of our Film and TV Festival. So each different pillar of South by Southwest, we have film and TV, we have innovation, we have music. We're all going to have these kind of sectors around downtown where we're going to have a good concentration of programming. Each one is going to be anchored by a clubhouse. The film and TV hub is going to be around the Paramount Theater, where we've actually closed off 3 blocks of Congress Avenue. We're going to have a nice big block party over there as well. And a bunch of the conference programming will take place at the Omni. Now, the XR Experience itself has very little change. So we're actually still going to be at the Fairmont, which is wonderful. We're Sunday through Tuesday, Sunday, March 15th through Tuesday, March 17th. And it'll take place on the 3rd floor of the Fairmont from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Now it used to run alongside a track in our conference, the XR track. Now that is actually going to be, we don't have a designated XR track, but we have lots of XR programming in the conference across all different sections. Now the XR Experience is composed of 3 different sections. We have our XR Experience competition, which will have 16 projects this year. They're all world premieres across the kind of immersive art formats. We're very excited about that. Then we also have our XR Experience Spotlight. Next slide, please. Now this is going to be, we'll have 13 projects in there. There are things that have premiered around the world in different places, different ways. And we're super excited to bring some of just like the best from immersive projects that have launched throughout this last year. And then we have our XR Special Event section, XR Experience Special Events, which actually, oh yes, one note, we have a special screening as a part of the XR Experience competition. This is Escape the Internet Part 1 by Lucas Risotto, and will be taking place at the Alamo Draft House. They'll have 2 screenings. It's going to be a lot of fun, Now our XR Experience Special Events our Layers of Place Austin. Actually, we're super excited to be able to premiere Layers of Place Austin. There'll be the 6 projects scattered around downtown. There'll be some great walking tours to go alongside that, and it's open to the public and available for everyone to enjoy. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're super excited to include them this year. Now, as a part of our the XR Experience competition, we have a jury award, but then on top of that, we have a wonderful special award, the Agog Immersive Impact Award. We're very excited to host for our 2nd year. It's sponsored by Agog and really focuses on those projects in our program, focused on social impact. Last year, it was won by In the Current of Being by Cameron Kostopoulos. All right. Now, how to do it. If you come to the event, how do you get into the XR experience and watch all of these amazing projects? First and foremost, you have to have a badge. It's a badge-only event. But it's one of the few things this year that is open to all badges. So innovation badges, music badges, film and TV badges, and of course our platinum badges are all welcome in. Each and every morning, you get to come in and pick your favorite, the project you have to see the most, and that's what I recommend starting, because each day you go in and you reserve slots throughout the day for all of the wonderful projects. So from there, take a minute, look at the program, make your priorities, and then be sure and go and sign up for those each and every morning. That's Sunday morning, Monday morning, and Tuesday morning. And also, if you don't get into that the first thing you're going to, don't be discouraged. There's always kind of wait list lines, people who don't show up for the reservations. So don't be afraid to talk with the creators, learn a little bit more about the project, and find a time where you'll be able to kind of slot in. And really, the most important thing is to meet and talk to everybody who's around, both attendees who are in the community as well as the artists who are all around on the floor. Let's see here. Escape the Internet will function a little differently. It functions like a film and TV screening. So you can reserve your spot in advance or come into our badge lines to see it. All right.
Thanks, Blake.
That's the bulk of that presentation. There we go.
That was super fast and incredibly helpful. So I'm really excited to be here to ask you lots of questions and sort of hear your thoughts really about your lineup this year, and what's kind of exciting to you in terms of the trends that you've seen this year. What's maybe different about this year compared to previous South bys?
Well, this year, I mean, there's a bunch of things I'm excited about the program in general. And one being that, with it being our 10-year anniversary, and the way kind of the production stars aligned, we have really an all-star cast of creators who are going to be in there. We have a bunch of people who have won awards at South by in the past, from Chloe Lee, who won last year's award. She has a new project in. We have Karen Palmer, who won an award with us. We have Cameron Kostopoulos, who won an award last year. Tender Claus is back, and so that was one really amazing thing to see all of these great artists who've kind of come through and really made such amazing work to be able to kind of align and come back for this year. So that's one thing I'm really excited about. In terms of trends and things that will be kind of different that you'll see this year, there's a lot more installation based stuff. So some more LBE type activations and experiential projects, which I'm really excited about. There'll be a lot, of course, one of the big main trends across the whole event for the last couple of years has been AI, of course, but AI definitely kind of caught up this year in terms of the projects, how it's being used and integrated, and how artists are using that tool to kind of bring their vision and their stories and their art to life. And it's really showing up very heavy this year.
Yeah, and I'd love to know more. I know that you've got Jonathan Yo, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, and he's going to be using some smart glasses for his work, right?
Yes.
Is that the only one, or are there others where they're using some smart glasses as well?
So thank you for bringing that up, number one, because I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Spectacles, who is the presenting sponsor for the XR experience at large this year. They'll have an activation kind of out front VRChat, where you'll be able to kind of check out their new spectacles, which are planned to be released later this year. And then they're also used in the Jonathan Yo project, Spectacular, as well, which is super exciting that we're going to have that. We also are going to have one other project on smart glasses called Body Proxy with Tender Claws, which I'm just so excited for people to see or experience, rather, as it's kind of exploring the idea of, instead of humans being users, what happens when users become the interface for an AI, which is going to be just a lot of fun. And in the Tender Claws vein, which is, they always just have like this great ethos of fun in their projects, and it's going to be right aligned with that.
Yeah, and massive congratulations as well for having like this being the 10th year, and I think what's kind of fun for all of us to kind of know is that often people think that XR or immersive is sort of flighty or not here to stay, but I love the fact that you've been doing this for 10 years, that people are coming back. There are these really established artists. I'd love to just talk for a minute about impact and works around impact. Obviously, Agog is sponsoring this year's award, as we did for last year as well. Why do you think that impact is, or XR for impact it has such a significant role in maybe your curation, but generally in XR?
Well, I think it's from the beginning. It's always the medium itself has lent towards impact storytelling in terms of its effectiveness. It's super effective in terms of putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, or really kind of experiencing somebody else's their life existence. So like being able, I think that it's always had such a strong effect on me, that we've really always had a really strong kind of impact focused themes throughout. But it's really because those artists kind of willing to dive in and explore utilizing the technology and different technologies as they evolve. That's one of the great exciting things about immersive, is bringing in new different forms of technology and kind of like integrating them all. And it really does, I think, has been very, very effective in that social impact space, in terms of like how artists can kind of realize those stories they're trying to tell.
Yeah, and thank you for always being a big supporter of that work. I mean, as somebody who's luckily had a piece shown by you, I just really appreciate the fact that you make the space for that. Blake, how would you describe South by, if you're sort of comparing it to other festivals? Maybe somebody's been to one of the other big festivals, either here or in Europe. How would you describe South by Southwest and your kind of curation?
In terms of curation, I don't really program to themes. I've always wanted to show a wide variety of how artists are using technology. So I quite often feel like I have a little something for everyone. And that's another important reason for that is our audience. Our audience is different than at any other event in the world, because we have these 3 different massive events happening simultaneously. Everyone who are focused on the tech side, on the music side, on the film side, so many of them actually have an interest in XR as well, and don't often get the opportunity to go to the more XR focused events. And so it drives the hunger, and has really driven the success, I think, is that unique audience that we have.
I mean, it's definitely one of my favorites. I really, it's wild, fun. It's full on. I think, I loved your piece of advice, which is to kind of go and sign up, but also get on the waiting list and just talk to the creators as well. And I think often at the end of the day, there might be spaces because people get caught up with other things. So it's really worth signing up, isn't it?
And it is. And the other thing is that, we consider ourselves a discovery festival. Yes, I do have a lot of these, like maybe more known artists this year, but we still have this a whole amazing group of new artists every year. And like in general, across South by Southwest, our ethos really is like focused on discovery. And so if you don't get into that big thing that you wanted, don't let it get you down. Like, go discover something new, go discover a new artist, go discover like a new type. If you think you're only into VR or you're only into AR, go try something different, because there's so much new there and there's so much to discover. And I think that's really like another kind of successful component that we have, is this like sense of discovery that people get as they kind of move through the festival, because you can't walk down the street and not discover something new at South by, and that's just so much fun.
Totally. I remember, I think, was it last year, there was the Bats experience where it was incredible, like audio, and it was you just could hear the people sort of shouting and screaming, and I felt I had to just go and check this out. And it was something I probably would never have gone and experienced, but it was absolutely brilliant.
And people had so much fun with that project. Again, it's like you said, like maybe you would look at it and be like, okay, Bats, got it, go try and see what Bats are about. But then like people were literally just screaming the entire time, and like through the whole exhibition, and it just drew people, and everyone who did it had an amazing experience.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. And what about another? I mean, for me as well, there's a lot of fun to be had at South by with the community, and how would you kind of advise folks maybe who are coming for the first time, like where should they go to kind of try and meet other people making this work, and just try and sort of dig deeper into the community itself?
Yeah, absolutely. So, number one, the Fairmont is the place to be for XR folks, and the XR community. Like, not only are we going to have the expo happening, but there's also some meetups and happy hours and things like that that'll take place there. But then, also with this new kind of format, please dive into the schedule. You're going to see XR panels at all the different hotels, from the Omni and the Hilton and the JW Marriott, the Marriott Downtown. There's sessions in all of these hotels, so keep an eye out for that. And really, like, what we find the most valuable thing about South by is the community and the networking and the people that you meet, right? So more often than not, whether you're somebody, an exhibiting artist coming to try and push out this new piece, sometimes that may not happen, and that's okay, because you may have met your next collaborator, your next writer, your next producer, for your future work. And that's really like where we find the biggest value of South by Southwest is the people you meet, because like I said, with our audience, it's a unique gathering of people from across so many different spectrums of industry, and they're all there. They're all hungry for something new and to discover and to meet new people. And so, like, that's really the best advice I can give when you come to South by is go meet new people, talk to new people. But back to that kind of core question, the Fairmont is the XR hub. That's where a lot of the XR people are going to be throughout the event.
Yeah, and I think you're right. You just talk to anybody. People are super friendly. Our community is still pretty small, and everybody's very open to you asking questions. And just I would absolutely say just go to the Fairmont and go and chat to anyone that you think might have you could either, they might have made some amazing piece of work, or as you say, they could be a future collaborator, as well as the artists who are actually there. I know we're going to switch to some other Q&A in a minute. I wondered if there was anything that I'm kind of really encouraged by how, again, our industry has really sort of developed, and the experiences like 2000, the clouds are 2,000 meters up. I know you've got in the spotlight, and I think that I've started to see that I think is really interesting is the quality as well of the work.
I totally agree with that.
So I'd love to know your thoughts around that.
Yeah, there's been, because I think, well, one reason being that that the XR industry has been established now for a much longer time. The experiences there of like how to best utilize each kind of type of technology, what technologies to pair together, and what works best for what type of story. And that's a perfect example of an artist who has produce several different types of work and really like explore different ways to bring that to life, and then like bringing it out, like creating a whole new volumetric kind of storytelling playbook, really, like in how you can really build and tell a story utilizing this tech. And I think it's just amazing, and I think that's really like, it shows the maturity of kind of what of the industry and the community as we have gone through now for a strong 10 years, I think, and longer, of course.
For sure. And also another really good reason to look at both the XR exhibition, but also Spotlight, like really kind of make sure that you kind of explore all of the write-ups before you sort of actually attend, and then once
make
you
a plan there, and then be okay when that plan goes out the window, but start with a plan for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a great piece of advice. Okay, I think we might be switching to our Q&A now. Vanessa, do you have the microphone?
Oh, I do. Hello. So yeah, we're happy to go around the room. We also have folks on our YouTube channel, so I'm just gonna go to any raised hands. Anyone here in the room have a question for Blake or Mary?
I was wondering, what do you look for when choosing pieces to include in South by Southwest?
That's a great question. And what I will say is it varies. It's different. Like, really, we start by, everything. One unique thing about South by is we are like a fully application-based, like all of our choices are application-based. So like you have to apply through our website for us to consider. Now, once we go through those submissions, what I'm doing is like, I'll watch every project, and I'm looking for one of the first things we say is something that makes you feel anything, right? So like, as I'm looking through projects, like what kind of feeling am I feeling something first and foremost? And then I'm looking at so many different variables. It's not an exact science, if you will, because it's such a, art appreciation is such a subjective matter. And so like, I'm looking at unique stories. I'm looking at, especially in XR, like unique uses of the technology and like what they're doing to bring their stories to life, or their art projects to life. And so there's a lot of different components, but we start really, like, I start with a feeling, like did this project make me feel something? What is that? It can be any feeling. It can be joy, sadness. It can be terror. It can be really anything, disgust, whatever it is. And so that's really where it begins, I think.
Amazing. Thank you
very much.
Good question.
Does anyone else in the room have another question?
So you're saying that LBE is becoming, or the location-based experiences, the larger installations is a bigger trend. How do you review those projects ahead of the festival?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I review them in several different ways. Sometimes it's a matter of going to a place to actually try them like that. Sometimes it's a matter of watching it in kind of different pieces and components of like seeing different forms of the content, and then kind of like bringing that all together into like a holistic kind of viewpoint. So it depends on that project, right? So like each project is different, and so there's different ways, especially, since there's so many different types of technology, like, so taking those different kind of components, kind of bringing them together to review the kind of project as a whole. It's a very good question.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else here in the room have a question?
Down here on the front row, Stone Drew.
Hey, Drew. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Talk right into the mic.
All right. Thank you. So I'm in Seattle, but I'm not going to be able to make it down to South by. How do you suggest that I might be able to either engage with some of the work, or follow on social or videos, or with the beauty of immersive, how much reaches outside of South by Southwest?
That's a great question. Now, when it comes to our conference content, we actually will record almost all of our sessions through either video or audio, and then over the days and kind of weeks to follow, we post all of that kind of to their event page. So keep an eye out for that. I actually was talking with a guy I met in Montreal who was like, he started his like routine. He'd have a workout routine where every day he would work out and listen to a new session from the previous year, right? So that's one way. Definitely following all of our, not only our socials, but like check out the content creators and their socials. For the most part, in terms of like the trying the exhibition pieces, it is in-person focused, but I always recommend kind of tracking them and kind of seeing, because like a lot of them will start becoming open or available to the public and on different platforms in different ways.
Do you also, Blake, there's South by Southwest in London, for example, as well. Do they also have an immersive element?
They do, yeah. They have an immersive element, an immersive section. Again, it's a part of their film and TV programming, kind of followed after our model. And they also have an amazing art program as well, which is where some of the stuff goes that maybe I would put into our XR component. So it's a great thing to watch. Last year it was kind of built out together between Diversion, a really wonderful group in France, and then the South by London programming team. So cool. Really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do this second year.
Cool.
Hi. So I'm curious, at this point, after so many years of doing the program, whether or not you've got an opinion on how the South by Southwest's relationship to the city has changed, or maybe vice versa, right? Like I include that broadly speaking about like the city in general, but also just like locals who end up participating, because the footprint has like exploded since the beginning of South by Southwest, obviously. So I'm curious if you can speak at all to that, like how the relationship with the city has changed.
Yeah. The city is an amazing partner. Like we couldn't do it without the city. And that's not only like the city and the city government, but as well as our local city residents. Now, one amazing thing that we're able to do is oftentimes we'll have events that are open to the community, and that is one of the things that has evolved over the years, like what type of events those are, and how we can engage the local community in that, so that we can have them come and be a part of this like great thing that they kind of give up part of their city for each year. So we couldn't do it without them. It's a really, really amazing relationship kind of between not only like us and the government, but us and the community as well. Thank you.
So I feel like that's actually a great way to lead into our interactive portion, which is sort of taking over the city of Austin. So I'm going to pass this to my colleague, Raul. Raul, here you go.
Okay, welcome folks. Thanks again to Mary and Blake for that. I'm going to invite two folks that you heard about at the beginning, Sarah and Rasheen. I see Sarah in the audience here. I'm looking for Rasheen too. If they could just join me on stage, that'd be great. So what we're going to do...
frozen.
Oh.
I think I'm able to join. Do you see me?
I do.
Okay.
Sarah, if you can't get out, why don't you try doing that? And then just join us back here. So I'll just add some preamble. So this is going to be a collection of AR activations that began with installation at MIT, but is then being adapted for South by in Austin. I'll have Sarah and Rasheen sort of introduce themselves, but the way that this is going to roll is they're going to give some preamble to the project, and then we'll all collectively walk over to the columns that you see. That's a new addition to Agog House, and you'll have an opportunity to actually see a version of some of those AR activations that we were able to bring into this world. And just to preface it, I'll be walking down this way up these stairs, and then we'll take the stairs to the right. So you just follow me after we are ready to chat through it. But Sarah, why don't you introduce a bit more about Layers of Place?
Yes, hi, thank you. And thank you so much for having us. Layers of Place, as Raul said, it's an AR exhibition, and it's site responsive, and there are 6 curated projects. And it started at MIT. We were part of a working group that we started back in the pandemic, and we started to think about AR and augmentation in general, and how you reveal the layers of place, the hidden stories and the speculative futures, and how you can help people sort of see different parts of the community that they never saw before. So we were interested in that, and then MIT had an art festival that we applied to, and so our first project was actually making AR experiences in response to the MIT campus. And that was also funded by Agog, so thank you very much. And there we came up with some, themes like MIT's relationship to slavery or abandoned spaces and thinking about them as gardens and all these different activations. And we thought, whoa, wouldn't it be interesting to take this to other places and see how they would be site responsive there. And so we were thrilled when Blake was excited about bringing this to South by and being public. It's out in Austin, and as Blake said, anyone can see it. So that was really exciting to us. And then we started to work with a community producer there and really think about how we could take these same things and make them relevant to Austin. And the other thing about it is that actually after we leave, they're going to be there, and we're building these relationships with community people there who will take them on and continue to use them. And the other thing I just wanted to say is that it was a really big team that were that is making this project. And I wanted to thank Akhmarat Turliev, who's the producer, and Courtney Cook, who is the local producer, and all the artists and everyone else who has been a part of this. It's been a really big project, 6 projects, and an amazing effort. Rasheen, do you want to say something?
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. Just before we walk into seeing and talking a little bit about the projects, I wanted to give you a little bit more context around our methodologies and conceptual framework, how we one of the main framing questions for our group that working together for the past 7 years together has been how technology could give us affordances in a way that we can respond to our current world society, and also how we can think about its past, its present, and its future. For us, augmented reality is a very amazing instrument and tool because it allows us to layer literally like this imaginary spaces into the physical space. And really thinking about a public space, what is visible and what is invisible, what the stories are allowed to be present and what the stories are being erased. And our role as media makers of unconscious actions of revealing and bringing those layers into the visibility. And with that, how does it mean for us to look into the future? And one important aspect of our work is that it's site responsive. So it's really looking deep into the history of that space. And also it's community responsive in a way that we don't parachute into the next city or space that we are moving to, it's really relying on the lived experiences of the communities who've been there. So for us, working with Blake and the community, working with social impact producer, connecting through them with this sort of human bridge of history and knowledge that exists, then how these tools, like for example, our projects, could stay with the community. So what does it mean for the community to then use these tools to grow and to localize them? And then into the big further future, what does it mean to connect all of these localized knowledges together, like decentralized knowledges that they are around? Each project is around its own core concept, but it's going to have decentralized knowledge across different spaces and localities that we go. So I'm going to stop there so we can talk more and respond to your questions when we are next to each project. That again, they are very unique and they address different topics around social justice issues.
Lovely, cool. Before I head down, Vanessa, I'm going to ask that I grab the mic from you and I can take it forward. Lovely. Thanks so much. I got it. Okay, so folks, feel free to follow me. So we're stood in front of these pillars, these columns, and this is a piece called The Founders Pillars. Sarah, I'm going to say a bit more about it. You might be muted, sorry.
Okay. All right, I'm not muted. So the Founders Pillars is a project by Matheson and Simon Wood. They were residents at MIT, and they learned about the slavery, the history that MIT had with slavery, and in particular, they found the main MIT building has the founder of MIT, the first president, sculpted. His name is on top, and there were 6 pillars underneath. Well, he was a slave owner, so they decided to create these beautiful textiles from the countries that were most impacted by slavery and wrap them around the pillars through AR. And so that's what you will see when you go to the actual project, is these beautiful memorialization of the enslaved Africans. So it, ask those questions of who are we memorializing and trying to change that, who we want to remember and who we celebrate. So that's that one.
And we've got the way that you can sort of activate this piece is you'll see there's a play button up on this sign. So I encourage everybody to come up to that button and hit play for yourself and then step back. And then it's a local setting, so it should play for you. And you'll see in a few seconds, those columns should be activated with the textile patterns that Sarah was mentioning. And it lasts for about a minute and a half or so, and we can have them playing as we continue.
So cool.
Wow.
Really beautiful.
If anybody's got questions about how we've sort of made this happen technically, I'm happy to answer those questions. Of course, it's slightly different from what you'd see in real life, but it's a pretty good approximation. With that, we can move on to chat about our next piece, and we're going to just walk down this way.
Humble monuments. Rasheen, do you want to talk about it? It's your project.
Sure. So humble monuments, first of all, I apologize because this is a prototype image. We didn't catch it. So if you go on site, it looks different. So the Humble Monument is a collaboration. We are a collective, Nadav Asur and Joanna Wright. It's about the core topic around it is about climate justice, but really coming to that from a very intimate, personal stories and narratives and people and plants relationship. So when you come to the experience, you have localized audios that they are around tender relationship of the people with the plants and their gardening practices. It's crowdsourced. So every location we go, we gather new stories and narratives. So the project grows. So there will be past stories and new stories. So it's also making relationship between different localities, but also it's about this bigger, really bringing attention to this ecosystem of, again, what is visible, what is invisible, what do we see, what we don't see, and the relationship between humans and environment.
Very cool, thank you. And our next one here is Moving Memory by Lori Landy.
Yeah, so this is Moving Memory, and Lori Landy, she likes to go to actual statues and animate them and really think about the way that we experience statues and how we might move more. She's very interested in embodied experiences. And so what she did at MIT, she took a statue there and put these little dancing figures, which is what you can see here. But this one is in Austin. So she's doing the same thing here. This is Kimpler's owls. And she's spending time now through someone who lives in Austin, who's spending time there to understand how people actually use it. And she's going to have these figures and different owls and nature so that people can really think about how they experience statues that possibly they just walk by and barely experience them. So really drawing attention to what's in your environment and also thinking about how movement creates memories and how it might create more memories or different memories because you're moving through it, which is a great affordance of AR, of course. All right, we'll go to the next one, which is Open Access Memorial. This is actually a little closet at MIT where Aaron Schwartz, who is a open access pioneer, and he actually co-founded Reddit, and he's been a real advocate for making published materials in scholarly journals or wherever open and available to anyone, not behind paywalls. And so he went as an intervention, he went into this closet at MIT and downloaded millions of documents from JSTOR, which is an academic publishing platform. And he downloaded them. He, of course, got caught. He was arrested and actually since passed away. So this is a memorial to him and to his ideas. And we've the artist, Youssef, has connected to open access advocates in Austin and is working with them to show what's happening in Austin and what Aaron Schwartz meant to them. So to continue the memorialization. And we're really excited about this one to go to other cities and just really connect open access advocates and people really working for that all over the country and the world, and then also make it local. So that is that one. The next one is Orza. Do you want to talk about that, Rasheen?
Maybe you're muted, Rasheen. Sorry.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi. So this piece is the work by Tamara Shogolu, and this is an augmented reality art installation that uses custom Afrocentric AI systems to reimagine colonial archive and centering Black land stewards and revealing how past continues to shape our digital future. There are form and shapes in the form of cult that they symbolize as thousands of Black agricultural scientists who were first brought to Americas and whose contribution has been systematically erased through colonialism and slavery. It's a very powerful and very immersive, actually, piece. And then the next one is Paper Boats by Matthew Pradat and Sahar Sajadieh. And this work is also about climate and climate justice. The visitors, it's designed as a game, so visitors would enter the artwork. It's a site-responsive and site-specific playable AR project. And it confronts the invisibility of sea level rise, and it immerses you as a visitor in a real-time flooding and plastic waste, and you have to work to bring this human figure that is in that space to safety, a boat. So there are manholes in different areas that would activate the experience.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you both for some of that background. There's a ton of pieces. Sarah, you already started chatting about how some of these will actually live past the festival, which is really lovely to hear. If folks want to learn more about the project online, let's say they're not able to be there in person, how would you recommend they learn more?
Yeah, so we both will have a site at South by, but also we'll have a website where they can go and learn more about the projects. It's not up yet, but it will be. And then hopefully it'll come to a town near you.
Stellar. Okay, thank you both for joining us, and thanks folks for hanging out for this tour. Really appreciate it. We're going to now move into our broader sort of like networking time. So feel free to chat with somebody you haven't met yet. Feel free to ask some questions of our speakers and guests too. That's all encouraged. And for those folks that are watching on the YouTube, thank you very much. We'll see you at the next one.